Where is he? What is the dog doing? What if I were to tell you I was right under your guys' noses? Not only is today supposed to be my official debut, rebrand, re-debut, however you say it, as Noah the dog. This today, January 28th, is also my 25th birthday. The quarter midlife crisis is here. I'm really excited to show off the 3D model. Let me see the dog emotes in the chat. Let me see some the dog spam, some Noah the 9 cheers, Noah the 9 highs, Noah the 9 hearts. Yeah, let me see the emote spam. Whoa. Whoa. I need the emote energy. Whoa. It's here. I'm fresh. Look at this spit. Wait. Oh. Wait, hold on. What's up, guys? I also have the ability to use my hands. Don't worry, I'm not gonna come out and touch you guys in the screen and whatever. I wish I could, so especially some of you guys in the chat. I would love to wrap my greasy little fingers around your neck and this is awesome. I gotta say, the jankiness level is definitely like 10 times as much as 2D, but also at the same time, I would say that the fun level is like a million times more also. Oh shit, I'm freaking out. Oh shit. I'm trying to touch you guys. Hold on. Fuck. Fuck, I keep losing balance. If this is your first time here, hello. My name is Noah the dog. I am a corgi and VTuber. You guys are probably thinking to yourselves, wow, this guy sounds so familiar. Why does his voice sound so familiar? I played these games before. But thank you guys all for coming to the stream. I see a lot of familiar faces. I wanted to make sure that I came prepared for this stream. So I have some slides for you guys. It feels like I'm back to being like a level 1 streamer. What do you mean? You are a level 1 streamer. This is your debut. You're so right. You're so right. Boom. Oh my god, check this out. The hands are so funny. Get a load of this guy. Well, oh shit. I just realized something. That says 24 years old. I made this before today, so I'm actually 25 now. So that should be 25. I'm currently in my quarter life crisis. My name is Noah the dog. I am 25 and my birthday is January 28th. I am 6 feet tall. Some slanderers will say technically the doctor said it was 5'11 and 3/4, but who's to say? Maybe I just didn't straighten out my back fully. Maybe I was just slouched over. Maybe I was just hunched over. We're hitting the 6 feet. We're going up the 6 feet club. Oh, 182 centimeters. I'm sorry. 182 centimeters, but 72 freedom units. Breed? Yes. But dog breed, corgi. I feel so old trying to figure out how PowerPoint works. I grew up using Google Slides and whatever. Here is my character reference sheet. It is made by the artist Yachi. On VGen, they're Yachi. I believe that's spelled Yacchi. They did an amazing job with my design. I was going for something that was kind of streetwear, baggy clothes, blue and gold. The reason why is because personally, I wear a lot of baggy clothes. I really like street fashion, hoodies, sweatpants, sneakers. One important thing is the blue and gold is I'm trying to represent California. California's state colors are blue and gold. You'll see it everywhere from the Lakers to the schools to all the Cal merchandise. It's all blue and gold if you haven't noticed. Why corgi? It's because, as some of you guys might already know, is that I fucking love corgis. I love dogs. We've spotted. Guys, you guys are literally in the stream of a guy who moonlights as a dog VTuber, and you're telling me that you guys are just now spotting the weeb? Guys, the weeb is in the room with you. Look in the mirror. The only thing it's missing is I decided on this later. You'll see that on the jacket, I decided to get the text dog on the back. Let me know what you guys think on this next slide here. The 3D model right here is made by Finra. You can find them on Twitter at Finra. They did an amazing job on the model. I gotta say, I am very, very impressed. I mean, I am more than happy with how everything turned out. I gotta say, it's been really fun messing around with all of the software and testing it out. I even was able to import it into VR chat that, you'll see it all the way on the left side. Asked Finra to add the dog text on the back. I think it was a really, really good addition. Let me know what you guys think. You can see all the little dog symbolism. You got the dog paw print. You got the dog on the shirt. You can see the dog paw prints on the shoes. Your necklace looks like a plum bob from Sims. I thought that too. Maybe we'll see some Sims gameplay. You guys might have seen this popping out a lot whenever I try to use this because I think it's really cool. I didn't really understand the need of having a logo, and to be quite honest, I still don't, but I think it's just really cool. I like to look at it. By Meko Kusiri. They did a wonderful job. This was like a Seb type of style commission where I just gave them upfront everything that I felt like I wanted, and then they worked with it. They incorporated the corgi and the dog elements with the tail. Some of you guys might not know this, especially for the Americans, because I didn't know that this was an American thing. Corgis do have tails. It's a pretty common thing that at least in the US, they dock the tails of corgis, which is really, really sad. They're really, really fluffy. You could actually even argue that corgis have very similar tails to foxes. I barely know guys, if you didn't know, that was what I was going for with the name. And then the dog, I wanted the word dog or pup or something to be in the last name so people would really know. It would really hammer home. He's explaining the joke. Some of you, okay, you guys, if you know If you don't Noah, you don't Noah. Noah Dad OG. You know what the crazy thing is that if I was the first one to do Noah the dog on Twitch, the way it works is the first 7 letters are your emote prefix. If I was the first guy that had the first 7 letters for Noah the dog, my emote prefix would be Noah Dad. So you guys could just be spamming Noah Dad emotes in chat. That would have been pretty cool. Maybe one day if I do ever get big enough to get partnered and I can choose my emote prefix, I'll do Noah Dad. I wanted to get into my hobbies and talk about the things that I like. I am somebody who loves to exercise and loves to stay active, even though most of the time during an exercise, I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I could be at home playing video games, or I could be just like sleeping in bed. I do love the challenge that comes with lifting weights, just like anything that has to do with physical activity. I think growing up, I've always been somebody who's generally been into sports and physical activity. Right now, my current obsessions with exercise are weightlifting and Muay Thai. For weightlifting, one of my New Year's resolutions is to get fucking jacked swole. I would self-describe as like somebody who has like a larger or heavier build. I've always struggled to find what type of body type I wanted and feel most comfortable in, because I've been anywhere from very slim and lean type of runner's build to fat skinny to kind of heavier powerlifting build. I get a lot of enjoyment from exercising and then looking at myself in the mirror after. I think that's a very fair thing to say. I think you gotta juice yourself up a little, gotta tell yourself you look hot. Weekly workout streams, I wish if I had an infinite budget, I would actually get like an at-home gym and I'd put like a stream cam in there and I just like talk to you guys while exercising, whatever. It'd be pretty silly. Whatever, enough about that. Fuck being healthy, okay? I love to eat. One of the things that I love to do is cook and then eat. I do some cooking streams. I enjoy cooking all types of different foods, especially like last year. I've mainly been cooking like a lot of Mexican food. I don't really know if that's like a choice or just like the types of ingredients that I find myself having access to in the area that I live in is primarily Mexican grocery stores. I will say, I live in California. Mexican food, definitely a top 3 contender in the types of cuisine that I like. The third one, video games, should be no surprise. I am a capital G gamer. Love video games. I don't know how much more I can say that. You guys are on Twitch. You guys should be here mainly for your video games and whatever. But for the video games, grown up all my life being exposed to video games. I have literally a picture of me as like a fat, chubby, like 1-year-old holding like an N64 controller. Some of my earliest memories involve Smash 64. I think I was just born to be a gamer. Horror movies, I absolutely love horror movies. One of the things that I wanted to do, some community movie nights. I think those would primarily be horror movies. I'm a self-described movie buff. I love horror movies. I love anything to do with aliens, ghosts, zombies. Surprisingly, I don't like gore though. I can't watch movies like Saw. Gore doesn't sit right with my stomach, which is kind of crazy, right? For somebody who likes horror movies. I like the thrill. I like the mystery. Maybe it's more accurate to say that instead, I love thrillers. Is anything related to doing with nerd culture? You guys can already look at me and see who I am, literally moonlighting as an online dog VTuber. This guy's got to be into some type of nerd shit. Anything with comics, whether that be DC or Marvel. I recently watched X-Men 97. That shit was fucking good. Oh my god. Oh my god. I needed to clean the fucking floor after I finished that series. That was nuts. I do occasionally watch an anime here or there. I feel like I don't watch enough anime as somebody who would relate or describe themselves as like a weeb. The last anime I watched, I believe, was Frieren. I gotta say, that anime was a 10 out of 10. And speaking of manga, do you enjoy manga? I have a manga shelf right behind me. Sorry that you guys can't see it. So I wanted to talk about my likes and I wanted to talk about my dislikes. For likes, I love all things dogs, but specifically corgis. I have a lot of corgi paraphernalia. I have corgi clothes, corgi keychains, corgi little figures. I have a little corgi right there on my desk, a little corgi paperweight. Love corgis. Absolutely amazing animal. Corgis specifically, they're a great breed. They're medium sized. They're really silly, very friendly. Did I mention super intelligent? Yeah? Huh? You're looking at them. Just glazing corgis right now. I love comics, manga, cartoons, anime. I grew up really infatuated with the DC animated universe. That was especially things like Justice League Unlimited, Batman Brave and the Bold, Batman the Animated Series. For manga and anime, I'm into some pretty basic boilerplate vanilla stuff. Frieren, Gintama, Parasite, Violet Evergarden, technology. Love tech. Grew up in a family that is very tech oriented. Always had access to really wacky types of electronics thanks to my uncles and dads who are like tinkerers, and that kind of developed into me getting into all things tech. That's what I studied. That's what I enjoy playing around with. I'm just always trying to tinker around and mess with any types of technology or whatever that I get my hands on. Hip hop, I would say the area that I grew up in, and I guess the era or time that I grew up in, was very, very popular for a lot of hip hop type culture, hip hop music, rap, type of graffiti art, things like that. And I definitely feel like it is something that has stuck with me. For the dislike side, I would say that I don't really like large groups of people. Just recently, I had gone to my first concert with Shoyu. It was a little bit overwhelming. I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. I would even say I loved it. It was great. It was a Zed concert. It was in a very tight auditorium, a lot of sweaty people, a lot of smells, a lot of noises, a lot of people shoulder to shoulder. That's not really my type of thing. Even though I do enjoy going to conventions and everything, I do enjoy some nice personal space and some distance. More specifically, for not just like large groups of people who are just like strangers, like also in the area, also for like large groups of people who are just hang out in like a large friend group. I feel like the max amount of people I can handle at like one time talking to is 8 people. When it goes to like 9 or 10 people, I feel like my brain kind of like short circuits and it's really hard for me to focus on a conversation. That's just me. Another dislike that I have, I complain about this all the fucking time. I hate driving. I hate the fact that the US doesn't have good infrastructure where we have trains and good enough buses. Right now, I live in the middle of farmland nowhere. I have to drive 15 minutes to get to the nearest grocery store. Oh my god, it irritates me so much. I despise driving. It's so bad. I really wish I lived in an area that was more walkable, had public transportation like buses or trains. It is just so sad how I feel so isolated living out here. It's terrible. Oh, another dislike. I really don't like being tickled. I'm somebody who is really ticklish, maybe a little too ticklish. I feel like you could just point your fingers at me and you can just like wiggle at them, like wiggle your fingers at me, and for some reason I will get tickled, and I hate that so much. For my final dislike that I wanted to put is sloppy horror movie endings. As somebody who is a self-described movie buff and loves horror movies, I would say that the one thing that irritates me the most is a sloppy horror movie ending. The best part of a horror movie is usually the mystery of it all. It's like the whole mystery of the situation, like, oh, like what is this monster, and like trying to figure it out. Usually like trying to figure out the rules or like the weakness of the monster. Love that shit. And then it feels like more than half the time at the end, the monster is just like revealed to be like a generic whatever monster, I don't know, loses to the power of friendship in some cases. So like I said, right, I'm a huge gamer. I wanted to list out some of my favorite games. I wouldn't say they are ranked in any particular order. I wouldn't even say that these are my favorite games of all time. It's already even hard for me to rank my favorite games of all time because there are some games that maybe have not aged very well, but at the same time have been like very, very influential to who I am as a person. But in general, the types of games that you'll see me play are FPSs, strategy games, farming sims, horror games, and action games. That one's a little wild card genre. Some of the ones that have been most noticeable to me have been games like Overwatch, Apex Legends, Doom, and BioShock. Honestly, I should put Halo up there too. Again, right? Like I can't, it's hard for me to just like narrow it down so much to like, oh, these are like my favorite games, because I would argue that Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2, World at War, have been some of the most influential shooter games, at least for me. They just haven't aged very well. There's so many other FPS games I could put. Doom, BioShock, Halo, Prey. Those games are very much influential to the types of settings I think I enjoy. I think that also has to do with a small component of the fact that I love horror games. And again, I want to reiterate, Halo should have been on there. Halo was one of the most influential FPS games in my life. I really loved playing that as a kid. Pretty sure that was like one of the few games where I actually went out of my way to achievement hunt, especially for all of the skulls. Playing legendary difficulty with the campaign with my older brother. Those were some really, really fun times. Or doing like things like big team battle. Amazing. Really, really, really good memories. For strategy games, Slay the Spire, Into the Breach, RimWorld, Stellaris. Honorable mentions would be The Last Spell. They are billions. I really love any kind of slow turn-based game that involves like a lot of strategy and a lot of thinking. A lot of people like to call these games glorified spreadsheets, which they're not wrong. It might be a little bit touch of the tism that compels me to love these games that are just like glorified spreadsheets, but I don't know, it just like scratches like a little itch in my head. I love min-maxing. I love managing like tiny little units or armies and whatever. It's so fun. The third category, farming sims, I would say that this is like a very, in the grand scheme of things, I would say this is like a very recent type of game for me. I know Stardew Valley came out like so many years ago, but it still feels like fresh to me whenever I play it. I would say I love farming sims. The main ones that I've played have been Sunhaven and Stardew Valley. Of the two, I slightly prefer Sunhaven because of the more magical aspects of the world. You get spells. It's a little larger too. While I do enjoy the groundedness of Stardew Valley and like all the NPCs and whatever, I just love the fantasy component of Sunhaven just a little bit more. The next category, horror games. You'll see that these two games I list are also in the FPS, or should be in the FPS, but I think between the two, fitting it into like a shooter game versus a horror game, I definitely think Resident Evil and Dead Space are more horror games. I played Dead Space at a friend's house. I have no clue why my friend had access to Dead Space. We were both like in 5th grade, maybe, whenever that game came out. The Dead Space remake that just came out, I want to say last year. Holy fuck. That is like an amazing fucking remaster. Oh, magnificent. I would also say the same for the Resident 2. I didn't play Resident Evil 2 original. I did play Dead Space 1 original. And then when I played the remaster, I was like, wow, holy fuck. The goddamn graphics. Like, not only was it a graphical upgrade, you can tell like very easily the people that were remastering the game put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Yeah, for Resident Evil 2, I didn't play the OG, but I played the remaster. I thought that was amazing. I played RE7. 8 is Village. I think I liked 7 more than 8. I liked the fantastical nature of 8, and there were some moments on 8 that were like crazy good, like the one Poltergeist Mansion. I thought that was like a really, really good area. I think I slightly preferred 7. Every area was polished to a perfect shine. I wanted to talk about the last genre, which is action. I kind of just threw in anything goes in this one because I couldn't fit it into a specific category. For number one for the action series is Monster Hunter. I absolutely love Monster Hunter. I would say Monster Hunter is also one of those defining games of my life. I made some really good friendships over Monster Hunter. I still very much enjoy the series. It's over the topness. Hunting, literally you hunt monsters. Capcom just has amazing naming conventions for their games. Monster Hunter, what do you do in it? You hunt monsters. Street Fighter, what do you do it? You street fight? What? Mega Man? You're you're more than a man. Monster Hunter, amazing series. I'm so excited for Monster Hunter Wilds to come out. The only thing I'm really worried about is the performance issues I've been hearing about. And Street Fighter, this is only a game that I've been getting into very recently. I have always been interested into getting into fighting games, but I never really had the stomach for it because I hate getting shit on. But recently gotten more into fighting games ever since I built my custom fight stick. But technically it's a leverless. I built that. I finally have something I feel like connects me more physically to getting into fighting games. Finally, XCOM. Oh man, dude, I used to be an XCOM nut. Before like all of these other like really good strategy games came out, XCOM was like my main thing that I just like played. I believe I have like over 100 hours in like Enemy Unknown. I love sci-fi, love aliens. I love turn-based strategy games. I like to name my characters after my friends or after viewers, and I like to get attached. And then whenever any of them dies, it's like so sad. It's really, really fun. Favorite anime and manga, and these aren't in order by the way. I would say definitely top 3 would be Gintama, Berserk, Dragon Ball Z. I would say those are my top 3 defining animes. But I would say Dragon Ball Z Kai was like actually one of like the first animes that I actually got into and I actually enjoyed. Okay, and then so I'm just gonna do like a super quick lightning round for the other 4. Monster Musume, Violet Evergarden, 10 out of 10. I'm somebody who very easily cries when watching like really sad movies or shows. I think I cried 4 or 5 times watching Violet Evergarden. One time my roommate JJ had come back from the gym and I was watching Violet Evergarden out in the living room. He saw me crying and he's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And then he was like, "Oh, I have some free time. I'll sit down and watch it with you." He sat down and watched it with me and then he started crying. That was really funny. I just remember when the episode ended, we both looked at each other with tears in our eyes and we just nodded and then we just both went back to our rooms. On a happier note, Frieren. This anime is like really beautiful and it tells like a really heartfelt story about like human connections and whatever. Probably a lot of you guys in chat have already watched Frieren because that was like kind of the big, really big anime of 2024. Dude, I fucking loved Frieren. I didn't think I would love it so much. I have a Frieren plushie that hangs on the rearview mirror of my car that stares at me. It's really funny. I love that little fucking elf so much. And oh, Full Metal Alchemist. I think Full Metal Alchemist is also one of those first animes that I experienced. When Roy lost his eyesight, I cried. Parasite, not to be confused with the Korean movie, that was really good. Favorite movies. Number 1, The Prestige. I think I have watched The Prestige 7 times by now. I love Christopher Nolan as a movie director. I love movies where I can watch it more than once and I can pick up new details. The Prestige, amazing movie. Most of the movies that Christopher Nolan directs, I love. The Dark Knight, Inception, Shutter Island, awesome, great based movies. Oh, Godzilla -1. Oh, that was really good. Me and Shoyu had watched Godzilla 1. I wish we watched it sooner because they were showing Godzilla 1 in those 4D theaters, the ones with like the chairs shake and they spray water and like I don't know, they touch you or something. Those 4D theaters. We should have watched that in 4D theaters. That would have been so cool. The Thing, pretty sure I've watched this movie at least 5 times. The Thing is literally Among Us the movie. For all my Zoomers in chat, I'll put a little Subway Surfers right here. I would put on some brain rot sound effects for TV shows. I love things like dry humor. I love the awkwardness and weirdness of things. If you guys have watched Nathan For You, I absolutely loved that show. I love to cringe. A part of that has like led me the special ability to not cringe as much. I mean, that could also be the touch of the tism, to be quite honest. But I love awkward comedy shows. And I think I really love those mockumentary style comedies. I love The Office. I loved Park and Recs. I'm loving What We Do in the Shadows. I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Rosemary's Baby. This one I would say is pretty popular, but at the same time, I would say Rosemary's Baby is a little niche. But like even then, I would say Rosemary's Baby was a great and scary movie. I'm sure that if you're a woman and you watch that movie, it's probably like 10 times more scary and realistic. And it's also sort of, I think, a product of its times. The Autopsy of Jane Doe. This is what I mean by I'm saying that the Autopsy of Jane Doe had pretty bad ending. They perform the autopsy on her and they slowly find out that she's a witch. Some silly shenanigans happen. And by silly shenanigans, well, let's just say people fucking die. At the time I watched it, I said the ending was like complete ass. I've kind of grown and I feel like the ending was just like eh. For Sinister, if you're gonna watch Sinister, like the last 10 minutes of the movie, just don't watch it. Like your experience will be like 100 times better. But Sinister is like about some haunted movie tapes. All of the movie tapes are snuff films of this haunted evil entity killing these families that move into this one particular house. Dude, the buildup, the mystery of it all, the sound, the haunts in it are so good. Even though Sinister's ending is like complete ass, I would still say it's one of my favorite movies. The Conjuring. So I know that The Conjuring is kind of not the greatest series, but I think if you were going to watch any of the Conjuring movies, definitely just watch the first one. It's about a family who happens to be targeted by this one particular demon or entity, and they're trying to lure them in through despair so that they could like fucking devour their souls. The people hire like a mystic to help them solve whatever is haunting them or to help figure out and fix it. Great movie. I Saw the Devil. Okay, this one's kind of like a random include because I Saw the Devil is a Korean movie. It is wild. I Saw the Devil, it's about a Korean special operatives, and what happens is his wife is killed by a serial killer. He tracks down the serial killer and then he plays like a game of cat and mouse. It's pretty graphic, it's pretty gory. I would describe it as revenge porn horror movie. The main horror elements of it, the serial killer dude is being tracked and hunted by this special agents guy because he wants him to suffer. The ending pretty wild, but I would definitely recommend it. Honorable mentions would just be the Dark Knight trilogy. I think we can all agree the second one was the best with the Joker. Rest in peace. Inception. I recently rewatched Inception because I watched it way too early and I didn't understand what the concept of the movie was about, but I rewatched it 4 years ago with my actual brain more developed than being in the fucking 7th grade and whatever. And I gotta say, great movie. Shutter Island too. Okay, that movie was still good, but that movie was a mess. Another honorable mention would be the Grand Budapest Hotel. Isle of Dogs. Content to expect. I'm somebody who grew up after the invention of the internet. So I'd say most of my life I had access to the internet and have been exposed to a lot of things that are internet culture. I was exposed to a lot of that early era YouTube. I was exposed to a little bit of that early era Tumblr. Always been a gamer at heart. Love Twitch. The content that you guys can definitely expect from me in no particular order. The ones that I can kind of see myself having fun producing. And in general, my philosophy is thinking if I were to make this content and no one was watching, would I still make this content? And if the answer is yes, then I would still make it. I don't have any particular plans on getting really big and making this like my full-time thing. I still have my degree in whatever, so that's what I'm going to be using to actually make money. But just this is like a hobby. I mean, if it gets big, it gets big and I'll work around it and whatever. But I just generally want to exercise my creative muscles and hang out with some cool people and talk with you guys and make friends and have a little corner of the internet that I can call my own community. So the types of content that you guys should expect are streaming. I mean, I'm already talking to you guys right here, so that works out. Of course, with streaming, that obviously comes with keeping up the VODs. I'm going to try to do more editing type of stuff so that I can shave down some of the VODs and separate it so I can get more people from YouTube to like funnel into Twitch by making like things like clips and shorts, either posting on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. Every once in a while, I think I want to have like a special video. You'll see down below in my panels. Shout out to Show You Ami who made my little panel graphics. That one of my goals is that I want to make at least one long form video a month. I would say that can be anything from rants and reviews on video games, movies, or random other nerd bullshit, or just kind of talking about how things are going, sort of this, like a gameplay series, videos, guides, or tutorials. Kind of generally want to expand and kind of output stuff. One of the big problems that I feel like I have when I make content, I get really self-conscious and I feel nobody's gonna watch it. I hyper critique myself, but I think I've been lately getting into the mindset more of I'm going to shitpost, and if nobody sees it, at least I'm having fun. If you're having fun, then we're having fun. Exactly. That's sort of the thing that I've been really like trying to focus on, is not being like overly self-conscious conscious of like the types of content that I post. I mean, you'll even see if you've been following like Twitter and my Blue Sky and whatever, I've been posting some really terrible shit post quality memes, but I'm enjoying posting them. I'm having fun going through the process and learning all of the software, the photo editing, the 3D software, the posing and everything. I'm just generally trying to focus on making myself happy with the content I post. If people don't come, then whatever, but hopefully people share the same sentiment of low quality humor that I do and they swing by. The type of thought process I used to have was under the impression of the perfectionist. If it wasn't perfect, I would post it. Something like a mantra that I have to keep reminding myself about is that don't let perfection get in the way of good enough. What that means is no one is expecting me to make like high level quality 3D animations and whatever. No one is expecting me for everything to go smoothly. I mean, even now my model is fucking freaking out and going jank. And it's just like, I don't want to stifle my own output because I'm selling myself short. Very much trying to make this year about outputting content that I enjoy, actually staying consistent with it, because I also had the same grand goals last year, even as Shimamo, is that I wanted to post videos and like edit content and things like that. But I never went through with it, but I'm hoping that I will actually, well, I'm not going to say I hope, but I'm going to say substantially that I will be posting at least a monthly video, something random, something that I want to talk about, something I like. Went to the next screen. Okay, for goals, like I said, right, I want to do release at least one YouTube video a month, and that doesn't include VODs that I re-upload to the channel. I actually want it to be like a video where I actually have to work to edit it. At least one YouTube video. I don't have like a qualifier for like what that YouTube video could be, but I was thinking like at least like a 5-minute YouTube video. These other goals here: reach 10K on Twitch. I think the qualifier for that is just reach 10K. I'm not really looking for a time crunch or anything. I mean, it could be 10K by the end of the year, maybe. I don't think that's likely. So I'm just going to say, just at any point in my life, reach 10K. I think that'll be pretty cool. Reaching 25K on YouTube. Again, I'm somebody that grew up on YouTube. I think it could be like a really huge flex that like, oh, I have like 25K on YouTube. It'd make me really proud and everything. Really, I should only care about reaching like 1K, which is when you get like YouTube affiliate and whatever, and you could monetize the channel. But that's not something that I like particularly care about monetizing like my content. 25K in like the grand scheme of things is probably like nothing. But again, like for me, you guys are like here, it's everything's like homegrown. I made this slide and everything. I mean, while I didn't draw like all the graphics and whatever, all of the memes and all of the stuff that you see me post is like I'm yeah, I'm making it practically one-man team. I plan on editing the videos myself, mainly just because I like editing and mainly just because it's fun and I want to get better at editing. 25K I feel like is a reasonable goal with enough challenge, and there's no time limit on that. Get jacked. Yes, Sir Chris. That's one of my fucking goals. New Year's resolution is that I definitely want to exercise more consistently. Back in college, when I had like so much more free time, I was able to exercise like 3-4 times a week. But now with like being like an adult and like having to work and whatever, it's just not very feasible to get 4 workouts in. I've been trying to maintain like consistent like 2-week workout schedule, and that's been going pretty well. I've been noticing results so far. I've been 6 times already this year, and it's been great. I love exercise. Like I said, if I'm able to get fucking huge by the end of the year, I maybe do like before and after pictures, which speaking of, I should take some before pictures like right now while it's still January. Yeah, maybe do like a before and after from January to December type of deal. It's really nice. The power of compounding small little actions over the course of the year. This one is probably going to be the hardest goal for me. Release at least one music video a year. Ideally, it would be something that like I wrote myself. I mean, I don't think I'm going to do the mixing and whatever, but I would want it to be a song that I wrote. I at least hope that it will sound good enough. And also, I'm not somebody who has like a very good singing voice, nor is very talented at singing either. Again, I think this is going to be the hardest one for me. Creating a YouTube series, I don't yet know what that will be. Off the top of my head, it'll probably be like a video game review series going over some of my favorite games, or it could be like a gameplay series of maybe something like Project Zomboid or something like Terraria or Minecraft. I just think having a YouTube series where it's just like very edited down, at most 10 minutes episode and whatever over the course of say like a year. That one I feel like has always been a goal of mine. I grew up watching gameplay videos and I still do. And even if it's just not even a gameplay, it's just have a series of I'm just talking about stuff that I like. I think that is something that I am looking forward to. And this one right here, create a full-fledged Blender animation. Now with the fact that I have a 3D model, there's so much more of the world that I have access to. having a 2D model is really great and looks really pretty and is definitely a lot less jank. I mean, look at this shit. This is the first stream and I'm having so much fun with the 3D model, and you can see all of the memes that I post on Twitter and Blue Sky. I already have so much fun with the 3D models, working with them in Blender, posing them, creating little animations. If you watched the debut type of trailer video, the motions and things like that, that's me animating that. That's not me in like VR chat or whatever moving around. That's me in Blender manually keyframing and moving everything. Prior to getting a 3D model, I have had absolutely zero knowledge or any experience in Blender. I'm hoping with how fast that I'm learning things, I'm not really learning things like very professionally. I know I'm missing out on like a lot of core details because I don't know what a lot of things are, but at least for keyframing stuff, I feel okay with that. I even bought like a little animation booklet going over how to create like fluid animation. I know this is all in 3D, but the concepts are the same whether they're 3D or 2D. One of my goals would be to create like a full-fledged, good quality Blender animation. I would at least want it to be a minute at the very least. Maybe it could just be something silly and I can have it as a memento of being good enough at Blender to be able to do these kinds of things. I gotta say, this has been an awesome debut stream. I appreciate everyone for being here, and I appreciate you guys all for swinging by, saying your good graces. Thank you, Romeo. Congrats again on the debut and happy birthday. Oh yeah, it's my birthday, guys. Happy 25th to me. Oh shit, no, I've been so excited for this event for so long, and I look forward to all the amazing things you are planning. Thank you for being and doing amazing. Thank you, Romeo, and thank you guys for supporting. One of the things that makes me really happy is I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces that I didn't know would be here, mainly because I feel like I've been kind of away from VTubing for so long. Just I've been taking like random hiatuses and just like random gaps between like streams and whatever. But thank you so much, guys. Before I started streaming today, I'm not somebody that I feel like does really well with a lot of people staring at me or a lot of attention on me. I don't in particular really enjoy birthdays because I don't like all the extra attention. In addition to that, I was trying to garner hype for the re-debut and everything. And as the days were approaching, I was getting like really nervous, especially today. I laid in bed for most of the better part of the day, partly because I was tired, but mainly because I think I was really anxious and nervous. My stomach was really tied up in a knot just thinking about today's stream, but I'm really glad about how it went. And I'm glad that you guys are here. And I appreciate all your guys' support. I hope that I can do you guys well. I hope that types of content that I make will make you guys proud. And I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. That will be the end, I want to say. And thank you for being here.